All right, let's do this. We don't have enough time to hit that 5 prospects that could be available for Green Bay at 54. So let's do the Tyler Shough article real quick, and then we'll jump into that in the second hour. That sound good to you guys?
Let's do it.
So Tyler Shough, why are we talking about it?
Here's the guy.
Greg Cosell said this is his number 2 quarterback in the draft. And he said that as soon as he said it on a Ross Tucker football podcast, Twitter blows up, everything goes crazy. And he said he had several people from within NFL buildings reach out to him immediately and said, you've stood next to him and watched him throw, haven't you? Like, you know exactly what this kid can do. Like, they were hinting at like, hey, trust me, you're on to something there. Right. I think there's a really good shot that Tyler Shough all of a sudden jumps into the first round in this draft. That's based off of what, like I said, Greg Cosell's saying and what he's hearing. So I said from undrafted to first-round buzz, Tyler Shough's rise in the 2025 NFL draft. This is by Buckets Goldenberg too, but he's been getting too much credit.
He's been tearing it up. I was looking through the Patreon, man. He's been putting in the work.
Hey, dude, he's a hard worker, man. Let me tell you. In January of 2025, Tyler Shough was a quarterback few NFL draft analysts saw as more than an undrafted free agent. After 7 years across Oregon, Texas Tech, and Louisville, the 25-year-old was overlooked. Now late March rumors have him climbing into the first round. How did this journeyman quarterback become a potential franchise player? Let's explore Shough's meteoric rise. Winding path to stardom. So you see here, it's showing him injured at Texas Tech, right? It says Shough's college journey began as a 4-star recruit at Oregon, backing up Justin Herbert before starting in 2020, 1,559 yards and 13 touchdowns. Injuries and competition pushed him to Texas Tech in 2021, but a broken collarbone, re-injury, and a broken fibula limited him to 13 starts over 3 years. With 1 year left, he transferred to Louisville in 2024, and everything changed. The breakout at Louisville, it says, under coach Jeff Brom's pro-style system, Shough stayed healthy and thrived, throwing for 3,195 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions in 12 games, leading Louisville to an 8-4 record. He averaged 266.3 passing yards per game, second only to Lamar Jackson in program history. His 6'5", 225-pound frame, I'm going to say it again, 6'5", 225, arm strength and quick release shown, especially in play action heavy schemes. 43% of their snaps was in play action. Pre-draft hype takes off. Shough's Senior Bowl performance in January turned heads, outshining bigger names with his velocity and poise. A 4.63 40-yard dash and standout combine drills followed, sparking buzz as a potential QB3 behind Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. With 10 pre-draft visits and workouts with teams like the Steelers, Seahawks, and Browns, analysts took notice. ESPN's Louis Riddick raved, quote, this cat can throw the rock, while NFL Films' Greg Cosell lauded his, quote, pro-ready traits, fueling his first-round speculation. Look at this RAS, guys. So he actually measured in at 6'4", a little less than 6'5". So 6'4", 219 pounds. He ran a 4.63 40. That's Aaron Rodgers 40 is what that is, basically. So RAS is a 9.69 through the freaking roof. The risk, age, and injuries. We talked about age, right? At 25, Shough will be 26 as a rookie, older than most prospects, yet age isn't a barrier. Bo Nix, drafted 12th overall by the Denver Broncos in 2024. At 24, turned 25 mid-rookie year, has excelled, proving experience can trump youth. Still, critics wonder if Shough's Louisville success was a veteran exploiting weaker foes. His injury history, 3 season enders at Texas Tech, raises durability flags, though Louisville staff called it, quote, bad luck. Why he's rising. Shough's size, arm strength, and accuracy fit the NFL mold, and his adaptability across spread and pro-style systems adds appeal. In a thin quarterback class, his upside and polish stands out for teams like Pittsburgh needing a developmental arm or Seattle seeking competition. He's a day one option. Projection, first or second round. Some mocks slot Shough in rounds 2 to 3, but first round chatter grows. A late first, 25 to 32, is possible if a quarterback needy team buys in, though early second round feels safer. Either way, he's no longer an afterthought. So look at the PFF growth here, all right? Just going from 2018 to 2024, 60.1, 68.5, 61.5, 76.9, 74.1, 65.2, and then at Louisville last year, 87.4. So he talks all the time. Greg Cosell talks about a player ascending as they approach the NFL. This is the definition of it right here, man. So conclusion, it says Tyler Shough's leap from undrafted to first-round buzz reflects resilience and timing. A breakout year and strong pre-draft showings have flipped the script, making him one of 2025's NFL draft's most intriguing stories. Whether he lands day 1 or 2, Shough proves potential can emerge when least expected. What's your all's take on Tyler Shough? We'll start with you, Emilio, since you just jumped in, man. Do you think this is all BS, or do you think there's a chance he goes in the first round?
I mean, I think there's a chance of he's also the one. I think he's the one with 4 degrees. Smart, heady kid. The fact that he's got the body type for it, he's got the arm. If people are calling Greg Cosell, if people are asking DJ these questions, someone's thinking about it, right? But I think who started here? Whoever started here, H.E. Soder. Is this really about Shough or more about the lack of QB in the draft? I think. From what DJ was saying, there's really only, I mean, the draft starts at like the 5th quarterback from last year. So like that's where the talent's starting. I mean, you always need a quarterback, or you're always going to try to find that winner, or the franchise quarterback. You're always going to take the shot if it's open. I mean, if he's there, you gotta think about it.
Yeah. Yep. I'll be honest, I don't get the Tyler Shough thing. One, because that's not how you say Shough. I seen that name, and that does not equal Shough. All right, I'm just saying that's not a thing. 2, I mean, look at this is way too long. It's like Van Wilder. This guy's been in college for so long. 3,
I love that people said the same thing about Bo Nix. I love it, man.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fine, but I just it's a little bit weird concerning because you talked about progression, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you got your Cam Wards and you got Shador, but I look at a guy like Jalen Monroe, who to me, I mean, obviously 2022 didn't look great, but he graded out very, very well. Almost 90s the last 2 years. Willa Howard, 75, 78, 86. Riley Leonard, 77, 75, 83. Jackson Dart, 79, 91, 92. Dylan Gabriel, 87, 91, 86. You can go on and on and on. Tyler Shough has by far the least impressive grades out of the top like 7 to 8 quarterbacks that I can see it listed on even I would argue he's probably the least talented one out of the first 10 to 12 as far as just the grades, which obviously isn't everything.
You talking about the 87.4?
Yeah, I'm talking for the conglomerate though over his 3-year span. Over the last 3-year span. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now notice in 23 he's not ranked, 21 he's not ranked, 19 he's not ranked, 18 he's not ranked because of injuries. So
right. Yep.
Keep that in mind.
Sure.
Which to me is the most important thing with him. The guy's riddled with injury history, and it's a huge question mark, especially considering the fact that he's 26. He's not 21.
Good point.
Yeah.
That's more what I was trying to round out. Thank you, Tim. Is that was kind of – I think that 6'5", 225, though, running a 4.6, that's going to help. You know what I mean? That just right there's catapults him to where
the only one at 6'5", Jacob. I mean, some of those guys were 6 foot. Dylan Gabriel's 6 foot. The other guys around 6'2". So I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
always can have the frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that just being said, I don't quite understand him reaching up to the 2nd or the 3rd quarterback, but I could see him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
If it had been anybody other than Greg Cosell that said it, Tim, I'd have probably been right there with Jacob. But hearing Greg Cosell talk about it was like, this kid, boy, when you stand next to him and watch him throw a football, and like Jacob, you said it specifically, and you did a good job noting it. We're talking grades, right? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about numbers on a paper. We haven't seen him throw. We haven't seen, people are looking for a pro-style quarterback. They ran play action 46% of the time. That could be huge in like a Shanahan-style offense. He's got the mobility to get on the edge off a boot if you want to run a wide zone boot scheme with a 4.6 40. There's a lot to like here, but like both of you said, man, the injuries are scary. They really are.
Look at
Go ahead, Jacob.
Sorry, interesting comment here from Larry Cano, who always brings the thunder. He says, Jeff Brom, coach of Louisville, is the brother of Brian Brom, if you remember him, Packers' 2nd-round draft pick, quarterback in the 2008 draft. Brian is the current offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach at Louisville. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Brian Brom was the guy that we took in the 2nd round when Aaron Rodgers was named the starting quarterback.
Yep.
And I love how they think there's absolutely no chance we could take a quarterback with Jordan Love at quarterback. It's like, oh, no, you'd never – okay, I'm just saying. They thought they may have something there, Tim, with Brian Brom. Obviously, they were wrong. And I ain't gonna lie, man. Once he left Green Bay, I was rooting for his demise because he was a pain in our ass for a University of Kentucky fan. We had to play them once a year. Brian Brown made me mad. So go ahead, Tim. What do you think about Tyler Shough? And anything else you want to add to this?
I was just finding my notes here from the Senior Bowl, and I had a short list of quarterbacks that I highlighted. I had Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, and Tyler Shough. And I've been a big Jackson Dart believer for a long part of this, whatever you want to call it, scouting process, draft process. Tyler Shough is creeping up the board, at least in my opinion. And age and injury be damned, you got to look at a thin quarterback draft class and, kind of like the report said, right? Buckets Goldenberg hit it on the head. If you're a quarterback hungry team, you might take a flyer on a guy like Tyler Shough. And you might do it at the end of the first round or early second round, possibly, believe it or not. So I think anything's possible. Really, really do.
Jake Shabink hits the nail on the head, and this is something else that Greg Cosell and Ross Tucker talked about. It only takes one team to go. That's our dude, and now boom, he's the first round pick.
Yeah.
So you guys have heard us say this all year when we would start to talk draft. We would say there's 2 drafts every year, every April.
Yeah.
Quarterback draft and everybody else, right? The NFL draft and the quarterback draft. This is what we're talking about. Me and Jake have talked about it countless times on Twitter about how it's like no matter what happens, you will always see teams talk themselves into multiple quarterbacks sliding into the first round because if you get it right, you're set. But it is like we had said before, man. It's a tale as old as time for sure. So, Emilio, you're such a smart ass. Anything else you guys got to add to Tyler Shough? And again, the reason we wanted to talk about this is because this is what's going to shape up that first round. And H.E. Solder hit the nail on the head earlier. Hope he goes before pick 23. That would be absolutely awesome. So every time I see y'all laugh, I can't help but look at that.
I'm laughing at Bates' response to Emilio. Oh,
let's see. We got Daryl chiming in here. Oh man, another QB. 3 question marks. My man is fired up tonight. Seriously, Clay. 3 question marks. Man.
I think there's a difference between being fired up and lit up. I think he's a little lit up.
Little lit up.
Little bit.
seriously, Clay. Let's talk about Max